Hello, welcome to the Youth School Holiday Program. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Gadigal and Wangal people of the Eora Nation, and to pay our deepest respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Now I'm going to hand you over to Dan from Loose Leaf Literature, and we're going to start our first creative writing workshop.
G'day everyone, I'm Dan Pryor, and today I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm a writer. I've been a writer for the past 11 years, and the only thing that I've learned is that nobody can teach you about writing. I've written interviews, I've written bar reviews, album reviews, I've written for furniture companies, I've written for all kinds of places. And the only thing I've learned about writing is that you need to do it. And that's the way you learn to do it. Today I'm giving you a workshop, not a lesson, but my hope is that you'll get to take away some techniques and some tools that you can use to improve your own writing. Today we're looking at how to connect ideas, how to branch out, especially when we're stuck. When we're stuck, it's impossible and our story doesn't even make sense. Where are we going with it? What are we trying to talk about? Today's technique will get us back to basics and learn how to branch out from there. So this activity I call Explain It. It's a very simple concept. You take a piece of paper and you divide it into three. In the first column, you choose a mundane object. It can be anything. Look around your house, look around wherever you are, and find an object. Write about it. You can write it however you want. You want to imagine that you're explaining it to someone who's never seen it before. It could be an alien, a robot, a young child. How would you describe it to them? You could describe what it looks like, how it works. Where do you get it from? Why do we have it? How was it invented? Some examples could be an aeroplane, or a cup, or a wristwatch. Choose your object and then write about it. I've chosen watch. Cuff to my wrist, spinning in circles, machine in miniature, giving us all the time in the world. In the second column, choose an attribute or quality of your object. What does it allow you to do? What problem does it solve? If it's an airplane, well, I talk about the ability of flight. If it's a cup, maybe you can talk the ability to contain. With a wristwatch, I talk about the future. Coming at us like a wave that breaks the present into the tides of the past. In the third column, you talk about an idea, a concept. How does this concept connect to your original object, to its ability? If it's flight and airplanes, maybe it's space or movement, a concept that we all know and take for granted, but how can we explain it? If it's a cup, maybe we talk about thirst, something everybody knows. For future and my wristwatch, I talk about time. An adventure we take one way, a river bearing us all along, but never far enough. This activity, you can choose and adapt and change and do it any time. They're always surrounded by things and there are always ideas. What you want to try and be able to do is to see the big inside all the small things. Then write about it. One of the other difficulties when writing is knowing who's telling the story. Where is your camera? What are we seeing as the reader? Choosing a perspective is working out how your story is going to be told. You don't want to get into a story too far and then realize you're in the wrong character. You want first person, but you're in third person. So some activities that you can do is to play around with perspective before you actually begin any major work. This will help you maybe see through your characters, see through their eyes. Maybe it will tell you, oh, I need to write from third person perspective and be able to let the reader see everything that's happening. So by playing with perspective and shifting perspectives, you can get a deeper appreciation of how your story should be told. This next activity I call perspective shift. It's a simple exercise. You think of a mundane activity. Look out your window. Do you see people? What are they doing? What are you doing? Are there people in the house? Choose and just observe. Write down what you hear, what you see. Write it in third person. A man plucks a flower in the park and gives it to a woman. Not particularly exciting, but it's the beginning of a story. Maybe. How can we make that more interesting? What if we change perspectives? What if we take on the view of a character? What if we use first person and tell it from the point of view of the woman who gets the flower? I was standing in the park and turned around to see this weirdo offer me a flower, and my hay fever immediately started. A little bit of tension there now. But why do you need to write about a human? What if we wrote from the perspective of the flower? No one ever thinks about what happens to a flower, symbols of romance. What if you tried using second person? It was a fine day to be a flower, till you came and plucked it, your human ears deaf to the screams of agony. Dark twist now. By changing perspectives, you can look at things differently. You know, a flower in light is going to be casting a shadow. Where are you looking? And how can you shift your perspective? As I've said before, I'm not here to teach you anything. It's just what I've learned, and that is keep writing. One of the best things I did was to write every day. Now, no one's got time to write a short story every day. No one's got time to write a sonnet every day, maybe once or twice. So how do you fit in a daily practice? Well, who says that writing needs to be anything more than a couple of words? 6 words, to be exact. When writing, we tend to go off on these sprawling sentences and use lots of wonderful words when really less is more. By trying to concentrate on 6 words and tell a story with that, once the limit is removed, you'll find it a little easier to express yourself. 6-word poems are a common practice. I've did it for every day for around 2 years, and I still love doing it, and hopefully you will too. And if not, it's a good technique to get some ideas rolling. So choose your 6 words and make it a story. We're past ideas of future selves. Now that's just one. Every day you can write something. If you have time and you can write more, take each of those words and turn them into a sentence. We're not left behind. Past propels us forward. Ideas fly from their cocoons. Of promises we hope to keep. Future landing to be determined. Selves awaiting our own open arms. Each sentence you could then turn into a paragraph. Each paragraph you could turn into a page. Each page a chapter. Chapter's a book. And slowly you would build out your writing. All you need to start with is 6 words. Hopefully those are some ideas and tools and techniques that you can use. And if not, just keep writing. Like I said, I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm just here to poke you a little. Thanks for watching. Good luck if you're going to be going for the Young Writers Awards. I'm hoping that I'll be seeing you next time. Take care.